In previous videos, we talked about measures of centrality. Degree was the number of contacts. The eigenvector looked at how much influence a node has. Closeness was how many ways a node is connected to other nodes. And betweenness was how many nodes you have to go through to get to another node. So let's take a look at the data set we've been looking at, this Game of Thrones characters and how they interact, to look at these particular metrics. So we're going to start here with degree, the number of contacts. And so just a reminder, if you want to work along with us, we are at drstephpowers.github.io/BIA. Graph and network models is what you see here. And we are using this Game of Thrones book 1. The original data set, just to remind you, looks like this. It has the source and the target, so who talks to who. In this case, the type is undirected. We'll look in the next video at directed. So that's more of the organizational hierarchy, who reports to whom, and how is the commands sent. In this case, it's just conversations, right? So it's more social network type models, so it is undirected. And the weight here tells us how many conversations these different individuals have had, or you could turn into a percentage in terms of percentage of time you talk to that person versus another. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the measures of centrality here, starting with degree centrality. So if you, let's just go back, sorry. If you are running this, what you do need is to import network X as NX. You will, of course, need that first to create our network graph, but we also need network NX to analyze it. So the first thing we do is we actually build the network graph. And the network graph we're working from is a more simplified one here. So we created a subgroup from that based on the number of contacts that each person had. So we filtered this and created this subgroup subgraph here if they had that they talked to more than 200 people. Okay, so let's go and let's do centrality. To use network X to do degree centrality, we do nx.degree_centrality, and then you need your edge list. So if this is your full data set, then that was what we created here, not the original table, but this here where you said NX from Panda's edge list. You need either that one, which is the full data set, or we created this sub G, which is a subgraph from this. So it's just we filtered it down. Okay, so we're using here that sub G, that's where it came from. Scroll back down. All right, so nx.degree centrality, and then you need that edge list there. When we do this, we get a dictionary that includes the individuals and a measure of centrality for degree. So we're looking at number of contacts, and the higher the degree centrality, the more contacts that particular person has. To find this in our data set, we do sen equals nx from our network X, degree_centrality, and then we have our subgraph that we're using here. And if we call that, we can see here a list of individuals and that centrality score, where a higher number is a higher centrality in terms of our degree here, in terms of our number of contacts. So what we can do is we can take this information and we can turn into a data frame. It's currently in dictionary form. So we're going to need to say keys is a list of the keys that are in this dictionary. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a data frame from our centrality here equal to, and then we import pandas as PD data frame, and it's from a dictionary. We need that key to because of the type of the data that it is. We need to pull that information in. We're orienting by index, and our column we're creating here is centrality. So when we do this and create this table, we're creating this table that looks like this. We want to make sure, though, that we have sorted it. So we want to sort the values by centrality, ascending equals false. And we don't just want to see this table, we actually want to label this table. So if we do dfsen, it disappears unless I call it back, right? I can do dfsen if you want to see it. And what we want to do is we want to take that table of information and we want to actually graph it with a bar plot. So dfsen.index, because the person's name is what's going to go on the horizontal, and our centrality measure is going to go on the vertical axes. Because there are people's names, we're going to do rotation equals 90 so that we can clearly see everyone's names. If you start to do things like 45 degrees, then the problem is their names start to overlap on top of each other. So what this shows us here is that we have a tie here for Eddard Stark and Robert Baratheon in terms of that degree of centrality, meaning that those two individuals have the most number of contacts. Okay. And so if you know Game of Thrones, right, that makes sense in terms of the leader of many groups of people and having a lot of influence. All right, so let's look at the next measure of centrality here, which is the eigenvector centrality, the amount of influence that a node has. And so this is the one who is able to get the information spread the furthest because they have a lot of contacts and their contacts have a lot of contacts. This is the social media influencer you're finding with the eigenvector centrality. To find the eigenvector centrality, we do eig equals nx for network X, and then it's eigenvector underscore centrality underscore numpy, and then we're doing this to our subgraph here, and we can call this information. And again, we get names of people, and here we're getting the measures of the eigenvector centrality. And we want to do is the same steps we just followed up here. So if we want to be able to have it so that our graph is nicely sorted, we're going to need to convert this. Oh, gotta keep going to the next section. All right, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's then add in code here. And this one is going to not be sen, but eig. So let's make this eig. And here you can make this eigenvector. And we can call this df eig. So then our plot here is going to be, let's run this first. Then the next piece we need is to sort it. So let's take that piece as well. Because we want our graph to show, because otherwise you get a graph that shows a lot of different ones and it's kind of hard to see. So let's add this in. Okay, so df eig, and we're going to sort values in df eig by, in this case, eigenvector. Okay. And so then we go to plot it. We'll just use the same command as we did here, where index is on the horizontal axis, and this time the eigenvector value is on the vertical. So replace that, df eig, and then df eig, and in this case it's eigenvector. Oops. Plot that. All right, so what we can see here is that Eddard Stark has the most influence on everyone. Notice that Drogo, for example, has the least amount of influence, right? He's seen the movie or seen the TV show or read the books. You know, he doesn't interact with most of these cast. So he's kind of off on his own with Daenerys Targaryen. They interact, but Drogo doesn't interact with these other individuals. And so that's why this character has a lot less influence than some of the other characters that you see here. So the eigenvector one is about the amount of influence that they have. The degree centrality was about the number of nodes they interact with, so the number of different people they're in contact with. All right, so we're going to then look at the next one. I'm just going to take this code here. The next one we're going to look at here is the betweenness centrality. To do betweenness centrality, it's nx.betweenness_centrality on our subgraph, because we're only doing part of it here. We'll call that BET. When we run that, we get a list of people and a score. And recall that the betweenness centrality, oh, got these out of order, is how many nodes you have to go through to get to another node. So the highest betweenness centrality is the person that everybody goes through to have a conversation. So let's then look at this, and to do that, we're going to need to take this dictionary of information. We're going to need to put it into a PDF, a table that we can then sort. So I'm just going to copy this code down here. Might as well put it all together so we can copy it to the next section. So we're going to create, this one is between, and we're going to do from dictionary still for between. This one here, let's give that column between, and we're going to sort by between. And we're applying this to the data frame that is between. Okay, so we do all that. We get sorted here. And what the person that people are going through to have conversations, we can see is Robert Baratheon. Just going to pull this graphing here. If we didn't sort it, I'll just show you what it looks like here. This graph is fine to read without the sorting. This is the betweenness one, because we can see that one person is who most people go in between to share information. But other graphs without the sorts look a lot like this, which can be a bit harder to see, which is why we are sorting them. So just to kind of see what we're doing. So let's change this out. And DF between, and DF between, and between. Okay. So when we sort this, then it looks like this. So you can see that most of the conversations go in terms of people wanting to send information to someone else. It would have to go through Robert Baratheon, because that's the individual who has all the connections to others. The last one here, closeness centrality. So let's just look at our closeness centrality here. And what we're looking at is it's a function of betweenness, how many nodes you have to go through to get to a node. It also looks at how many ways a node is connected to another node. So how many routes you can take in this calculation to find that best closeness. So we're looking at who is closer to everybody else. So they have to go through less people to have those conversations. So let's go in here, and to do our closeness, we do nx.closeness_centrality of our subgroup, and we get a bunch of data here. We want to sort it, so I'm just going to take the code from above. Otherwise, as I said, you get a graph that looks like this, which is hard to see the comparison. So if we add this piece of code here where we create our data frame for close, orienting on index, we'll call this closeness, and then data frame close needs to be sorted so that we can have the most close shows up at the first. Closeness, DF close. So you could have created a function that did all this and then just called the function and applied it to your next set rather than do it by hand each time. That would have been more efficient. But here we can see that Eddard Stark and Robert Baratheon kind of tie in terms of closeness. And if we want to see this on our graph, then what we can do is we can use this code here to create the graph where the closeness rankings are the highest first. And because I didn't change this to close, it was actually doing betweenness, so that's why we see that. So let's fix this, close. what do we call this? Closeness. All right, and you can see that, as we were saying, Edward Stark and Robert Baratheon have the highest closeness rating. So if we're looking at what does that mean? That means that there's groups of people over here, there's groups of people over here. And so if you want information to pass through, then they are the one that is connected to the other nodes. And so a measure of closeness. We are going to look at in our next video, we're going to apply this all to organizational charts and looking at org charts and measuring centrality there. So we'll apply this instead of to Game of Thrones, we'll apply it to our organizational structure. In that example, there is directionality. In this particular case, we didn't have directionality. People could talk to each other.